If you've ever also wondered whether or not you've missed your chance to become the person you want to be, or you've missed your opportunity to reinvent yourself, then I feel like this conversation is for you or someone that you know who is also in that season of life. So you have to stop mourning a version of yourself that never existed, a version of yourself that you weren't even ready for anyway. Hello, sunshine, and welcome back. If you are new here, however, I am the Kymberly in Kymberly Bonet, and on this channel, we are talking about healing, self-growth, relationships, self-worth, and just navigating this seasoned part of life. As a woman who is 50 plus, I like to think I'm not too old to learn yet. So I'm still learning how to navigate my life as an empty nester, as a fairly recently divorced woman. And I always drop stuff. Okay, so if that sounds like something to which you can relate, then you have come to the right place. As I got ready to start setting my hair, I looked in the mirror and I legit wondered. This is Taraji P. Henson's Ride or Die for anyone curious. I'll also be using a lot of body setting spray. But as I looked in the mirror, I legit wondered if anyone else has looked in the mirror and felt like you've missed a chance at something. Because don't misunderstand me. I am a genuinely happy person. But two things can be true at once. You can be happy in something and you can still also wonder about another thing. So I've had wonderings about, I wonder if, I should have pursued this, or I wonder if it's too late for me to do that. And just in general, I'm striving to be the person that I've always wanted to be. And so, yeah, that comes with some amount of questioning. If you've ever also wondered whether or not you've missed your chance to become the person you want to be, or you've missed your opportunity to reinvent yourself, then I feel like this conversation is for you or someone that you know who is also in that season of life. One of the things I genuinely wondered is, who is it that taught us that our life peaks early? Who told us one of the biggest lies that I think we've ever been told, which is that the best years are behind you, that we peak in our 20s? Because the reason I think that's such a bald-faced lie is because our wisdom doesn't peak in our 20s. Our self-awareness doesn't peak in our 20s. Our self-confidence doesn't peak in our 20s. So if all of that's true, why then do we think that our life should peak in our 20s? I don't buy that at all. I think instead that many of the qualities that genuinely make us happy are those qualities that deepen as we get a little older, that deepen as we become a little wiser. A lot of times I feel like society focuses on what we've lost instead of what there is ahead. Yeah, we may have lost a little elasticity. We may have lost a little gravity-defying features here and there. But I don't feel like we've really lost on the best years of our life, as so many people seem to think that. I think instead, as we get older, we gain those perspectives and those understandings. I think a lot of people who feel like they have gotten old and lost all of that, they're thinking that they're grieving opportunities that they think they've missed. They're grieving romances that they feel that they've lost out on, instead of looking ahead to the ones that may be coming up for them. They feel like life has already happened and they're not realizing, there's more to life. Life is still happening, and life is really what you're making of it. The only thing that happened a lot of times in the past, especially for people who have had bad pasts, is survival. You survived the past. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people, I think, because of what they had to survive and get through, they feel like I was going to say all is lost, but I guess a lot of them do. They feel like all is lost, and that's just not true. You will lose it all if you continue to grieve what's in your past, but no, there's so much more awaiting for us in the future, in the now, that to keep grieving what we left behind, that's the true lost cause. Because if you sit there grieving it long enough, wishing it enough, oh, that was the love of my life. Oh, that was the time of my life. Oh, that. If you sit there and you keep putting that out there, then yeah, you're going to make that the truth about your life. When in reality, the best love of your life may yet still be to come. The best days of your life may yet still be to come. You just have to be ready and willing to see it that way. You have to be ready and willing to receive it. I would absolutely hate to meet a romantic partner. And let's be clear, I'm not really looking for one. But I would hate to meet a romantic partner only to find out that they're believing and grieving one that they had in the past. Because what am I doing here? I think a lot of times, many of us are thinking that age is an obstacle. Time is the obstacle. And that's not the truth. You know what the truth is that I think is the real obstacle? Fear. I do. I think fear is really the real obstacle. Fear of starting over, fear of being seen as a novice, fear of failure, fear of being laughed at. All of those things, I think, are real and legitimate fears that people have. And then you just lump it into the category of, yeah, I'm too old to be starting over. I'm too old to be trying new things. Oh, you can't teach a new old dog new tricks and all that old silly stuff. To me, a lot of times, what's crazy to me is that when you're young, why do I keep stopping to talk? I gotta get through this. A lot of times when you're young, you're afraid to do stuff because you feel like people are watching you. You feel like people are going to be judging you and all of that stuff. That's something we absolutely need to be growing out of when we get older. You should not have a fear of those things anymore. By now, you should know most people don't care. Who you watching? Like seriously, who are you watching getting ready to judge and laugh at? Probably some of nobody. And so if you're not doing it, why do you think you're so doggone special somebody else is doing it to you? They're probably not. And even if they are, so what? Why would you let someone else's opinion of you stop you from going forward with your best days and dreams? Instead, I think we just need to focus on our own lives and focus on our own dreams. Are you even the person that you were 20 years ago? Because I doggone sure hope not. In fact, I think probably not. Instead, you've learned new things, you've survived new things, you've overcome new things, you've helped other people to overcome and survive new things. I feel like some of the greatest lessons come from experiences that you couldn't have possibly understood when you were younger. It took you getting older. It took you discovering new passions in life. It took you traveling later in life. Because I know for me, I really couldn't travel when I was younger. But just like I couldn't have those experiences and such when I was younger, be it because of finances or, babysitting issues, whatever it was. But just as I couldn't have those experiences then, a lot of things finally come to us later in life, which is what makes life better. Such as that travel, such as those passions and things that we're developing. I think sometimes what appears to be a late start or what looks like you're behind everybody else in life and all of that other negative stuff we tell us, sometimes that's your perfect timing. Sometimes it is just time for you to walk through that door. That door was closed. It was probably even sealed shut when you were in your 20s. You didn't know better. You wouldn't have appreciated it. You wouldn't have done right by it. You know, whatever it is, for whatever reasons that door was closed, it was closed to you then. It wasn't time yet. And so, no, the best days of your life are not behind you. The best days of your life are just waiting on you to swing open the door and walk through them. You know what I mean? So you have to stop mourning a version of yourself that never existed, a version of yourself that you weren't even ready for anyway. Sitting back talking about the best days of your life are behind you. Girl, them days wasn't the best. Wasn't even the best timing. This is your best timing. So instead of sitting back imagining what could have been, what you could have done, opportunities you missed, the choices you regret, and all of that other stuff, I just feel like you should be looking ahead. I just feel like all that time you could waste looking backwards at what could have been, could have, would have, should have, and all that stuff, that's time that you're wasting on looking ahead. Again, that door is open for you, but who's to say it's going to stay open? Who's to say you should continue to waste all of that time that you could be using in a valuable way? You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like the future asks you, what you going to do now? Instead of asking yourself what you could have done and what you could have, would have, should have, and all that, the future is asking, what you going to do now? Now that you know better, now that you're ready, now that you're here today, what is you going to do? I don't know. I think another reason that people missed or think that the best years of their life are behind you is because they're measuring best by the wrong standard. When you're younger, we're often defining our best years by excitement. Ooh, it's just so invigorating and exciting and all of that. You're measuring it by what? Appearance, you're measuring it by your achievements and things like that. But as we grow older, our definition of all of those things change. Our definition of what's exciting even changes. I tell you what, when I was younger, I thought that a good-looking, exciting man, I thought that was what I needed. I thought that was the best thing for me. I don't want to be too excited. I don't. I'm choosing peace over excitement every time. Don't come to me with a whole bunch of excitement. You want to go ripping and roaring up and down the highway, no helmet, and no, that ain't cute. That ain't sexy. That is not exciting. That's just dumb. And I'm not doing that. No, so even my measure of what's exciting to me has changed. And the peace that I feel now, honestly, is priceless. Truth of the matter is, none of us know how much time we have. None of us. And because of that, every day that we're living matters. Not because we need to go into a panic. I'm not saying that. And I'm definitely not saying you should be living in a spirit of fear. There's nothing good about that. So don't get me confused on that. But I am saying, because we need to stop assuming that our lives are over while we're still living it. Like, that to me is one of the craziest things. Why would you think that the best of your life is over while you're still living your life? You don't know what's to come. I just feel like we need to, we need to understand that there's still more to learn. There's still more to do. There's still more places to go. If there's something you've been wanting to learn it. If there's something you've been wanting to understand, seek to understand it. If there's, you hear me, whatever passion you've got, go ahead and go for it. Don't just sit back thinking, oh yeah, the best times are over. I'm not going to be able to do this, that, and another. Let me tell you something. When I first started this YouTube channel, I thought, who really is going to want to listen to me? I started flipping around on YouTube. I started looking for other women who were older, either 50 or approaching 50. It was not a lot. Or if they were, they sure weren't talking about it. They weren't claiming it. And now, there's been many, many more of us coming out. Many, many more of us celebrating that, you know what? Yeah, life ain't over. Yeah, there is a tribe of other women who are just like me, who are doing what I'm doing and wanting some of what I'm wanting. I'll tell you something else. Since starting my YouTube journey, I have met women I would have never met had I not started this journey, had I not just assumed that, yeah, somebody else might be like that, had I not tried reaching out to another community or a community of other women who are doing what I'm doing. So maybe you're not interested in YouTube, and that's fine. But if you are, and if you're thinking about it, go ahead and start. Don't think, oh, I'm too old, or oh, I don't have the camera, oh, I don't have the proper house, I don't have the proper look. Oh, what is the proper look? I don't have a clue what that is either. I remember not thinking about any of that stuff. The thing that caused me to wait was just thinking, who else is really divorced or going through a divorce and talking about it, or any of it, like, who else? And I thought, it's somebody else for sure. Again, I always say this, I'm not so doggone unique or special that I alone am going through some new experience. I just need to reach out to someone else who might also be going through this experience. And that's what I've done here on my channel. I've been reaching out, and I thank God people have reached right back. So I don't know, what do I want to say in closing, on the off chance that you are someone who's been carrying around the belief that the best part of your life is over, that the best years of your life are over, that you have met and lost the love of your life, so there's really no point, that life is just so disappointing because it's not the one that you imagined that it would be. I don't know, whatever your maybe is. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to choose peace over excitement. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to finally know and grow into your self-worth. I don't know, whatever it is that you're thinking about. I just want to make sure that you're not thinking that it's over. You're not thinking that it's too late. I want you to think in terms of, hey, you know what? It's the end on that chapter, but it's the beginning of a new one. Beginning of what? Who knows? Because it's change and it's growth. We really don't know what lies ahead. Got a little kink there. We really don't know what lies ahead. And that to us is the most fearful part of all. But don't tell yourself that you've waited too late. Because again, I think that's just code. Aha, I found it. I think that's just code. That it's too late. I should have done it then. Whatever negative mindsets that are limiting you, that stuff is all code. And to me, it is code for fear. You are just really afraid. Because wherever you are right here, right now, is exactly where you're supposed to be. You just have to be willing. You know what I mean? You have to be, here's the thing. Anything not growing is dead. And you're still alive, right? So clearly, you're still growing. You're still learning. You still need to be exploring and delving into new adventures and things like that, because as long as you're here, as long as you're alive, as long as you're growing, and as long as you're willing, there's the part, that's the hard part right there. As long as you are willing to take that next step, then you just might be stepping into the best years of your life. That's just my opinion. Hot chat, 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 chat. Oh my gosh, I need somebody to save me from myself. A simple move, never basic.